Green. Go. Pody is off. Something wrong with the car. Go. I just broke. We're done.
When you go green off this yellow, you might be able to do something with Doug, you might not. But when you go green, I want you to watch your inside, turn 1, because you know Amy's coming, okay?
Amy Ruman, closer than ever, in the back of Doug Peterson's car. The pace car is going to come out, and we're going to feel the explosion of speed again here at Lime Rock Park, and it's bang. Green flag, Doug Peterson looking on the inside of Simon Gregg. Welcome back to GoTransAm on MavTV. I am Alfredo Nin, and we're here at Lime Rock Park for the second round of the 2012 Trans Am Championship. This place is very special for Trans Am because history has been made here. Follow me and we'll take a look at it. Remember I told you history was made here at Lime Rock Park? This is one of those places. Turn number 7. The downhill turn. This is where you separate the man from the boys. The guys who break here this weekend are not going to make history, and proof of that can be all those tire marks. The guy who go as fast as he can without breaking in this last turn of Lime Rock Park definitely is going to make history this weekend. As we walk around Lime Rock Park, we find history everywhere, and this is proof of it. This is the list of the Trans Am winners since years past, since the beginning of the Trans Am history. We see names like Mark Donohue, Sam Posey, George Fulmer, Greg Pickett, Paul Newman. If you see here is Pete Hosmer, a winner here in 1987 in the Trans Am Series. He won last weekend in the TA2 class at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and he's back at Lime Rock Park with the Trans Am Series 25 years later. Can he win again? I also have my own story here at Lime Rock Park. In 1994, I was here with Dominican driver Luis Mendez. A week before, we were racing in Venezuela. I brought with me a delicious lasagna. Since we didn't find an oven, it was next to this tree that we cooked it in a barbecue. This is the kind of history you find here at Lime Rock Park. Let's take a trip around Lime Rock Park with Trans Am 2-pole sitter Pete Hosmer. He won the Trans Am race here in 1987.
Start-finish line, you got a real fast braking area coming into this right-hander that you kind of overcook. You try and go a little too fast. You slide out and you come back to that second apex on the right, a little quick squirt, and then the only left-hander really on the track. And a lot of people give up that left-hander to make it work well on all the right-handers. This is a tough corner, that coming out of that right-hander, because it off-cambers a little on the edge. And then a little short back straightaway here. And this is the most challenging corner to me on the track. You drive it in hard, almost too hard, and then you use the uphill to give you more grip and hustle around that corner. And then this big flat sweeping corner on the top of the hill before the downhill again. So yeah, it happens pretty quick, and you just keep doing it, and you keep trying to do it better and better each time, but I'm not sure you ever really do it all exactly right.
Sam Posey is also part of Lime Rock history. He won here in 1969 in a Shelby Mustang. He was the Grand Marshal this year on his birthday. I talked with him before the race. It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Posey. How do you feel being around another event here at Lime Rock Park, having these Formula cars with the next Schumachers that are going to come out here from Lime Rock, and also the Trans Am Series that is a heritage, is a legend here at Lime Rock?
Well, the variety of the cars that you just mentioned make it so great. The small open wheelers with the next Schumacher, as you put it, and then the big hairy Trans Am cars, which bring back so many memories for me. I must admit the heyday of the Trans Am was back in the 70s, and now it's coming back, and it's just wonderful.
Against the drivers you raced against, what is that driver you still think about? Man, that guy gave me a hard time.
Well, a lot of them gave me a hard time, too many of them. But I always think of Mark Donohue because, first of all, I was his teammate with Penske in '68, and I admired him as a human being, as an engineer, and as a driver. And when he was killed, it had a profound effect on me. I decided I would not drive open wheelers anymore. I'd stick with the sedans, which are a lot safer. And I'd say Mark was probably, overall, the biggest influence on my career.
One last message for all those fans that are Trans Am followers. You are part of Trans Am since years. One last message to all the Trans Am followers.
Well, let's just hope that this series revives the glory that it once had. You know, I think it's well on its way. I looked at the cars yesterday up close, and they're magnificent machines. I wish every fan out there had the chance I had yesterday to look at these things up close. They're a lot more sophisticated than the ones we ran years ago.
The cars were flying this year. We talked with some of the pilots after this. This segment is brought to you by GoRacingTV.com, for racers by racers.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter King.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
This year's race was the 99th Trans Am start for veteran driver and SCCA GT1 champion Simon Gregg. He talked with Bill Wood.
Simon Gregg, you were second in the Trans Am points last year, had a second at Three Rivers. 2 championships in GT1, 2 in a row. You're the guy they chase in club racing. You like this Trans Am racing, obviously, and you're very good at it.
Yes, well, we have new management this year, which I'm involved in, and you know the series now has this TV coverage, Bill, which is great, and we've got a new schedule. We're here at Lime Rock this weekend, one of my favorite old racetracks. Next we go to Mid-Ohio and another classic track.
Simon Gregg, you're 2-time defending champion in the Southeast region in GT1. Those are cars that are just like Trans Am, a lot of speed, a lot of horsepower, great noise. How do you like club racing versus this pro? It's different, obviously, than pro racing. Do you have one favorite over the other?
I like them both. I enjoy doing the club racing. You know, I can do all the great tracks in my region, the Southeast, and then we run the good tracks in the Midwest region where the team's from, Durhog Motorsports. So, yeah, we've already got to run Daytona, which I love, and then we'll be running Road America a lot this year, including at the runoffs. So the pro race events are a little more exciting. The club racing events are you know, relaxing and laid back.
If I was going to go in that hauler back there, pick out the parts off the shelf to build me another Simon Gregg, what would those parts be?
A nice pair of custom headers. You know, tubular headers, you know, a bundle of snakes. Yeah, I like the craftsmanship and uniqueness of how each team designs that part of the car.
This is a nice looking car. Just had one of your fans come up and talk about how great the car looks. You really like the detail and the intricacy and just the craftsmanship of the way it's put together.
Well, I'm a car enthusiast, so I love the way it looks. The presentation's important to me. You know, the speed of the car, the shape of it, the aerodynamics, the paint job we change every few years.
Tell me about the music that's in Simon Gregg's life.
Well, I listen to the new stuff. I listen to a lot of satellite radio. I like talk radio too, but I also really love Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin as far as the classic rock stuff goes, and yeah.
Simon Gregg is a rocker. Are you a headbanging rocker? You really sit there and get into the music?
Well, not the heavy metal, and I listen to it mainly in the car while I'm driving, and I'm not a real loud music kind of guy, but I also listen to books on tape while I'm traveling too.
Do you hear music in the car when you're driving? Do you hear Led Zeppelin or rock music?
Maybe right before I start the engine, but you know, once the engine's running, that noise overcomes any other thoughts. That's where that makes you really focus because you can't think about anything else.
Our tech talk for this weekend is going to be transmission, and Tony Abbott is going to help me out with this. Tony, I know you guys have been working for this weekend's race at Lime Rock, coming from a very fast speed track as Mosport. Totally different thing here at Lime Rock. What do you work on a transmission in a Trans Am car?
Well, with our racing transmissions, we can change either a drop gear, which changes the whole stack, or we can change individual gears. And since the track is so much different here than Mosport, we've changed individual gears so that we have what we need for each individual corner.
You have so little time to do that. Is it easy? Is it difficult?
We've gotten pretty good at it. We can do these things in and out of the car with a change in about 2 hours. At Lime Rock versus Mosport, here we spend a lot of time in third and fourth gear. At Mosport, we run up through the gears several times. So that particular track needs a much wider ratio box than here. Here we really just need second gear for one corner and fifth gear in one spot. So Lime Rock, while it is a much shorter track than Mosport, the average speed is about the same. The top speed is a lot higher at Mosport, and their minimum speed is lower. Therefore, much wider ratio box there. Here we really focus on our third and fourth gear ratios for grunting out of all these corners and not logging the motor down.
This segment is brought to you by TrackMate Data Systems. Simply the best.
The club, an amateur racer. Here at GoRacingTV, we salute you. And we want to give you all the tools and info to compete with the best. Find out how to do it all from your own garage by watching our Club Racer and Autocrosser shows. GoRacingTV.com, supplying all your video racing needs.
John Claggett is the president of GoTransAm. He's excited about the future of the TA2 class. More manufacturers are waiting to get involved.
John, we're going back to the future here with Trans Am. We've got the Trans Am, the TA2 class. I remember the old Trans Am had the under 2.5 liter. This is something completely different. But the TA2 class looks like the Camaro parade. What's going on with that?
Well, right now it is a Camaro parade, but for the Ford fans that are out there, hold on, because the Mustang's on the way. There's at least 3 that are in some state of construction, and I think perhaps not at Mid-Ohio, but maybe after that we'll start seeing Mustangs in the TA2 class. I think that once they're here, number one, it'll be like the Camaro. Camaro last year there was 1 or 2, now there's 5 or 6. Once we get 2 Mustangs in there and they're shown to be competitive, then there'll be more on the way. I think, and that's the beauty of this class. It really begs to be Camaro versus Mustang. It's going to be Camaro versus Mustang. And then once that's in place, hold on. There's a couple of teams out there that have been talking about trying to do Dodge programs, and then we would have all 3 of the big 3 represented in the class, and that would be where it really would shine.
Last year's TA2 champion was Bob Stretch. He runs a 4-car Camaro team. We're here with Bob Stretch, GoTransAm 2 defending champion. Welcome to GoTransAm. Talk a little bit about your personal business with Fixed Rim and Wheels of America.
Well, we started Wheels America in 1994 in my garage. My only goal with Wheels America was to fix enough wheels so I could race cars. So here I am, very fortunate all these years later to have a 4-car team. And Fixed Rim is a mobile wheel repair franchise that we support and sell. So trucks go out to dealerships and repair wheels on site that are damaged or scratched, typically for used car dealers, but also for individuals. It's a growing field in the automotive business, and it's a great field. It's there's not a lot of competitors out there. We have fantastic support, and Wheels America, our fixed location repair business, has 8 locations throughout the country, and we fix wheels that are a little bit more heavily damaged, cracked, and bent, and broken, and things like that. And of course, for us, racing is a natural part of our business. We use what we learn racing and how we remanufacture our wheels.
Now, talking about your family, you have 3 boys. Are they racing already, or is there a plan to have the whole Stretch family racing in the future?
I actually have 4 boys, and all 4 of them go-kart race. We've got 2 of the littlest ones running Rotax, so they'll be in Rotax Nationals in August.
How do you prepare physically, mentally, and your equipment to fight against Pete Hosmer, a guy who won in GoTransAm 25 years ago? He's back. He was able to do a pass on you at Mosport. Can you beat him here at Lime Rock?
Well, we'll have to see. You know, every session that we do is a test session, so we just keep improving the cars and getting a little bit better. I've been racing these style of cars for quite a while, so I've got a lot of experience in these cars, and I'm not, you know, I'm not too concerned about it. We just got to stay on our game and do the best we can.
And this is how they lined up for today's second round of the 2012 Trans Am Championship, with Tony Abe with his second pole position in a row, followed by Doug Peterson, his teammate and points leader. Simon Gregg with another third qualifying spot, followed by Amy Ruman and David Jens. Those are the drivers in the Trans Am class. Taking a look at the Trans Am 2 class is Pete Hosmer, points leader with the first pole of the year, followed by Bob Stretch, 19-year-old Cameron Lawrence in his first race of the year. Kurt Roehrig qualified fourth, but changed his tires, and he's going to start from the back of the pack. And there you see the rest of the qualifiers in the Trans Am 2 class. Right after the break, we'll bring you the race action from Lime Rock Park. This segment is brought to you by GoPro. Wear it, mount it, love it. And it was all set for the start of the second round of the 2012 Trans Am Championship at Lime Rock Park. 14 cars between the Trans Am and the Trans Am 2 cars ready to take action in this 1.5-mile, 7-turns track. The green flag drop in the hands of Sam Posey, the 1969 Trans Am winner here at Lime Rock Park. He was the special Grand Marshal. And right out of the start, Tony Abe taking the lead from pole position. Second race in a row that Tony Abe, the two-time defending champion, qualified on pole in front of his teammate Doug Peterson, who is the points leader, and he was the winner a week ago at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Right on board, Cameron Lawrence, the 19-year-old driver, who started third in the Trans Am 2 class, but didn't do so well at the start, dropped from third to sixth, but later will charge up to third, but drop out with mechanical problems. A spectacular day at Lime Rock Park. The cars were almost flying in turn number 6, coming out of the Essex, as we see the tire marks from David Jens driving the number 70 Ford Mustang. Taking a look at the Trans Am 2 class, Bob Stretch qualified second, but right from the start took the lead from the hands of pole sitter Pete Hosmer. Hosmer driving the red Camaro, Stretch in the yellow Camaro. He's the Trans Am 2 defending champion. Good pass from Cameron Lawrence, who, as I mentioned before, had a bad start but recovered to third and then dropped with mechanical problems. On board with Tom Sheehan, who will lose control of his car, go to the tire barriers, and with that, the first yellow of the day will come out, 4 laps behind the pace car. And at the restart, big surprise in the Trans Am class, Tony Abe pulling aside, and it was the chance for Doug Peterson to lead a Trans Am race again. He was followed closely by Simon Gregg, who was having a tremendous race at that moment.
I just broke. We're done.
That is radio communications from Tony Abe to his team, calling the race off, and closing the gap in the Trans Am 2 class was Pete Hosmer, putting the pressure now onto Trans Am 2 defending champion Bob Stretch. The fight was also for the lead in the Trans Am class. As we take a look here, Doug Peterson with his mirrors full in the hands of Simon Gregg, make a mistake, went in too fast, too deep into the Big Bend, turn 1 and 2 at Lime Rock Park, and handed the lead to Simon Gregg, who is in 99 start, was looking pretty good for his first victory in the Trans Am Series.
Look in the mirror. Drive the car perfect for the next 12 laps and you're going to win your first Trans Am.
Later, Doug Peterson will put this move onto third place runner Chris Lisville, and that will bring the second yellow of the race. Can Simon Gregg hold on for his first win in the Trans Am Series? We'll take a look when we come back. This segment is brought to you by Speedcom Communications, racing radio systems and scanners.
Hi there, I'm Tom Natchu, and this is Greg Kramer. We're called the old bastards of racing in many circles. You know, I guess we met back in the late 1980s.
Easy. It had to be at least that far back. Glory day of some racing, too.
Oh, absolutely. Trans Am was a part of the picture, and actually I learned to do pro announcing from this man around the Trans Am Championship. Oh, that is a long time ago.
A very long time ago, but I'll tell you what, you take a look at Trans Am racing in the early 90s in particular, the names that were running at that time. But the other side of the story was World Challenge was really starting to come alive at that point. And the names in that, there were sometimes you'd look at the two rosters and go, you know, I'm not sure which one is the most talent. Some amazing stuff from those decades past, and of course, a lot of those drivers also doubling up, running amateur racing in the runoffs, and it was spectacular stuff.
Now, GoRacingTV has got all of that action, Trans Am World Challenge, and even some runoff material, all coming up over the next season. That's going to be something to watch.
I know, to be able to relive those 2 decades of motorsports from the Sports Car Club of America's Pro Racing Department, Trans Am World Challenge, and then you include the National Amateur Championships, the runoff, the intense battles that unfolded there. It simply doesn't get any better than that, and it lives again right here on GoRacingTV.com.
Because I need to spend more time in front of my computer.
Welcome back. During the caution, race leader Simon Gregg had a radio conversation with his crew chief about the strategy for the restart of the race.
You might be able to do something with Doug, you might not. But when you go green, I want you to watch your inside, turn 1, because you know Amy's coming, okay?
And Simon Gregg followed the instructions from his crew chief, holding on the attack from Doug Peterson for the lead of the Trans Am class. Good restart for Simon Gregg, looking for his first win in the Trans Am Series in his 99 start. Amy Ruman, trying to attack with 2 laps to go, had an off-track excursion, was able to finish in third in the Trans Am 2 class. This was the move of the race when Bob Stretch was not giving up any inches in the track to hold on to the lead and get his first win of the season. And the action was not over. Right at the end of the race, Tom Sheehan had a crash at the end of the straight. And in the checker flag, in round 2, 2 new winners of the season with Simon Gregg, a first-time winner after his 99 start in the Trans Am Series, and Bob Stretch, Trans Am 2 defending champion with his first win of the season. Let's listen to what the winners have to say in Victory Circle.
And what a race for this guy. He was consistent, he fought his way to the front, and now he's the winner here at Lime Rock Park. Let me give you for Simon Gregg! Give me your words. How does it feel?
It feels really good. I've been waiting to, have this feeling for a long time. It took, many years of practice and preparation. The team did a great job as usual. My car was right there for me at the end. It didn't fade like some do, and it was great racing with a clean competitor like Doug Peterson, and so I was glad to be here.
Congratulations to Simon Gregg! It's time to call the winner for the Trans Am 2 class. What a race for this man. He's the Trans Am 2 defending champion. Let me hear you for Bob Stretch! Tell us about your race. How does it feel to be back on the top of the podium in the Trans Am 2 class?
Well, Pete's got the benefit of experience, and I got the benefit of youth. So I was pretty happy out there. Pete's a really good racer. I can tell we're going to have a good battle all year long. I want to thank Chris Boyer and Scott Stretch, my brother, and Todd and Alan, all our crew guys, they really did a fantastic job. Most of all, I want to thank my wife for putting up with race cars for all these years.
Congratulations, Bob Stretch, the winner in the Trans Am 2 class.
After 2 rounds, this is how the championship points are, with Doug Peterson with the championship lead, Simon Gregg in second, only 4 points behind, and it's Amy Ruman now in third, followed by David Jens and 2-time defending champion Tony Abbey. In the Trans Am 2 class, it's Bob Stretch, the new leader, after his win here at Lime Rock Park, followed by Pete Hosmer, 1 win for each driver so far, Michael Wilson constantly in third, followed by Tom Sheehan and Kurt Roaring, as we take a look at the rest of the Trans Am 2 drivers.
And this is it from Lime Rock Park. We hope you enjoy the show. In 2 weeks' time, we'll see you from Mid Ohio to bring you more excitement for the 3rd round of the 2012 Trans Am Championship. See you then. I am Alfredo Nin.